that y'all can hear me well, okay? Kisses, misses, click, 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 click. Hi guys. Mwah, who's your kiss? Mwah, who's your kiss? Bro, listen. I'm not even gonna do a long intro because today's video is very important to me because I really want to talk, y'all. I want to talk, and I want to talk authentically, transparently, yes, from my own experience. And I want to talk about something that I feel like, again, y'all know I have a theme of doing this, is like very overlooked in the manifestation community. So I know that I have not been as consistent on this channel as I had hoped for myself in the year 2025. But honestly, if I'm being real, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know that at any point in time, I can pick this camera back up, right, like I am right now, and just jump back into it and talk to you guys and like get down to the nitty gritty. So we're just going to jump right into it right now. So y'all, for the past few months, my life has been changing like very rapidly and honestly unexpectedly, super unexpectedly. And I had a moment, I had a very, I'll say polarizing moment where I was so disappointed in myself. I'm not gonna get emotional in this video. I was so disappointed in myself because the circumstances were just circumstancing. And it just felt like my life was, I don't even want to say crumbling before my eyes. It wasn't even about my life. It was about my identity. And so because so many things were transpiring and they were taking place, I was so disappointed in myself because I kept getting on myself and I kept telling myself, you know, like, this is happening because you're doing something wrong. This is transpiring because it's something you did. And the reason I want to speak on that specifically is because there is a certain validity to knowing and understanding your power and your conscious creation as the God of your reality, right? And so it's one thing to know that, but it is another thing to berate yourself and convince yourself that you are your own worst enemy, that you're not powerful anymore, that you're not who you know yourself to be, just because a circumstance has reared its ugly head. And, you know, it's two different distinctions. One is being aware and taking accountability for knowing that, you know, I have the capability to decide what this means for me. The other one is just self-beratement and self-blaming. And that never gets anyone anywhere. You know, it never gets anyone anywhere, and it's not healthy and it's not really good. It's not self-fulfilling. It's not good behavior. And so I had just, you know, felt so bad, just bad, because I, at some point in my journey, had started convincing myself that there was some type of failure within, that there was some type of flaw, some type of like manufacturing flaw within me because of things that I was seeing in the outside world, in the 3D. And this is just like, again, this is me being transparent. Like, we're not doing toxic positivity. This has never been the channel of toxic positivity. This has never been the channel of, you know, I get on here and tell y'all that if you have emotions, you're not going to manifest. I get on here and tell you guys that if you have doubts, you're not going to manifest. It's just not true. It is not true. And that type of ideology, rhetoric, narrative, way of thinking is what can lead to a very topsy-turvy mindset while trying, and not even trying, but like, especially as a beginner, while navigating the new understanding of being a conscious creator and being God of your reality. It's very, you know, like those two things can't even really coexist because they're so opposite from one another. So you can't tell yourself that you're the God of your reality. You're perfect. You're always creating. You get everything you want. And then at the same time, when something happens that you don't like, you know, it's a completely other side of the coin where you're not doing it right. You're failing. You're messing up. And so I wanted to talk about this because I know that I'm not the only person who has experienced this. And I feel like, unfortunately, in this community, things like this aren't talked about enough, because if you talk about something like this, it's a victim mentality. You're bringing up the old story. You're But at the same time, no one's really talking about how to navigate it. and how to overcome it. So I already understood and knew that, like, you know, I'm having this internal dialogue and it's not healthy. It's not good. And I also want to stand here and say this 10 toes down, because I've told y'all time and time again, just because I'm a coach, I was coaching for 4 years. I had and still do have to this day all of these successes, my marriage, my engagement, my apartment, all of those things and that's just to name a few. That's like a very, very minute few things that I manifested for myself throughout my reality. And it was just so, I feel like part of me making this video is because I've never seen somebody else of my stature who is respected as a creator, respected as a law of assumption person, respected as a law of assumption coach, ever really stand 10 toes down and say, you know what, I did have a moment. And so this is me doing that. I had a moment. Before we even get any further into this video, I had a moment, and guess what? It's okay. Not only is it okay, I'm still God. I'm still chosen. I'm still worthy. I'm still wealthy. I'm still happy. I'm still healthy. And my life is still prosperous. Because we need to normalize saying things like that, because if we're going to say that the circumstance is never the end all be all, and we're going to say that feeling things is not the end all be all, we need visual representation of that. Albeit, I don't care. I have moments. I had a moment, and you know what? I'll probably have a moment in the future, but the moment doesn't take away the prosperity. The moment doesn't take away the beauty, the smartness, okay? The individuality of it all, the inspiration of it all. Like, it really doesn't take it away. So anyway, I was just convincing myself all of these things that just were not innately true, because they're not of God. Like, they're not these things. I always think of, negative self-talk, negative inner dialogue, limiting beliefs. I think of those as like rubble. And I've said this before. It's like you pick it up with your hand and it's no substance to it, and it falls apart. It dissipates because there's nothing legitimate about it. There's nothing like substantial about it, because it is not of your true nature. It is conditioning from the world. And there's a creator on here, and I cannot think about her name. I always forget her name. I've been watching her videos, and I don't even think that she really even labels herself as law of assumption or anything like that, but she uses a lot of law of assumption terminology. And in one of her videos, while I was like getting back to realizing and remembering who I really am, she said something that really resonated with me to the point where I wrote it down. She said, the ego's parent is the world. The ego's parent is the world. And I find that to be so true. And that is also what helped me realize, okay, I am letting the outside world dictate not only who I know myself to be, but my total identity. And that ain't hot. And so this isn't a video about, here is the order, this is the sequential order in which I did step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and realized my power and regained my sense of self, and you have to apply it in this way too. No, I'm gonna be real. I felt like shit. I felt like the lowest down, dirtiest dog. Because I didn't just feel like I let myself down. I felt like I let my community down. Just by even feeling this way. I was like, I'm a let down, and all of these things that, again, as I'm having this reflection, I'm realizing simultaneously, this isn't true. None of what you're saying is really true. It's a lie. It's all a lie. And I'm realizing this isn't my actual reality. Y'all want to know what I did? You already know the answer. I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to answer it before I even say it. Made a decision. I made a decision. And guess what? Sometimes making a decision is not just a one moment thing. It's not just you wake up in the morning and you decide that you're gonna be this new version of self and you're gonna stop being a victim. Making a decision is consistent. It is like ellipses. It is It is not just one day. It is this day, the day after that day, the day after that day. It is consecutive, which goes along the theme of repetition. You can see how everything in the law just literally finds its way back to another thing. Everything is interconnected. So I say all that to say it wasn't just one day I made a decision, because I think that when people watch my content or other people's content about law of assumption, they hear the word decision and they think it's just in that moment. A decision is continuous. It is a continuous decision that follows you all throughout your life, your experience, your journey, and your happiness. Okay. So, like I said, it was consecutive, and I stood firm in it. I stood firm in it, and I said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of existing as this version of self that I know myself to no longer be. And while I understand that at some point in time, I allowed myself to essentially unravel and forget who I am, it is now my responsibility to remember. It is my responsibility to remember. So I started, really sinking my teeth into a lot of law of assumption literature. I started watching creators that reminded me of my own power, but while also doing things that support me being the version of me that I know myself to be. I feel like everyone wants this concoction. Everybody wants a concoction. They want a specific cocktail. They want an exact, applicable, blah, 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 blah. When it's good, always and forever, not even just within the terms of the law, but in general, always and forever. It's going to look different for everybody, y'all. The principles, the techniques, they're always going to be the same things, reinvented through different words. After a certain point in time, there's nothing new that you're learning about the law. You're just hearing it through different perspectives. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that is so beautiful. That's one of my favorite things about it, because I love hearing the infinite perspectives, the infinite ways that you can apply something. But even when it comes down to a technique, I'm not searching for a technique to be my source of salvation. I'm not searching for a specific technique to be my answer. I'm the answer. And that is what it comes down to. And I really had to remember not only who I am, but who I'm going to be going forward forever. You know what I'm saying? And that even goes back to, you can fall out of a state. You can fall out of a state, but still be loyal to the identity. What do I mean by that? You can fall out of a feeling. You can have a negative thought. You can have a doubt and still be aware of the identity, the innateness of being chosen, of being godly, of being infinite, of being all that you are, because all that it takes for those things to really be true, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what circumstances transpired in the past, regardless of if you had doubts, regardless if you had the worst day of your life, the only thing blocking you from being the version of you that you want to be is not only your remembrance, but your allowance. You allowing it to be so. You allowing yourself to know this is who I am, no matter at what point in the journey I am in. And I don't say the word journey. People hear that word and they think that it's long and it's treacherous. Rework that belief, because the journey when I'm saying journey, it doesn't have to be an uphill mountain. It could be me on an elevator. That's still a journey. It's a seamless one. It's a fast one, but it's still a journey, and it's one that I can enjoy. But that was where I really went wrong, so to speak, is that when the circumstances started popping up, I forgot who I was, and I was ashamed to even admit it. Now this is me sitting before my audience and telling y'all, guess what? Regardless of anything that transpired, not only am I still that bitch, everything I want is still here, and everything I want in the future is already mine. Anything that I decide to be so for my reality is still going to be so for my reality, because I am who I am. And not only did I remember, but I'm standing in it and I'm living in it. And I wanted to bring this to y'all. So desperately to be real and to be, number one, because I miss y'all to the death of me. I miss y'all so much. But also, I just was like, you know what? This is going to be the thing that liberates so many people from being afraid. And I thought about it too. I thought back to where I started and where I came from. And I was like, why did I feel the way that I felt during this point in time where I was manifesting so many things? And even though my reality looked like a shithole, I was so happy. And I was like, it was because I had my identity, and I knew that my decision was like, literally, it's just set above everything else. It's just like when Neville says, like remnants of a dead world. It's remnants of a dead world. If the world is dead and it is a reflection of dead men, what power does it hold? And so I know that when you are seemingly like going through these big feelings, going through a circumstance, it can feel like the end of the world. It's not though. It is not though. And that is the important distinction. There is a way to empathize with yourself, hold space for your feelings and allow them to come to the surface, but also not feed into a line of thinking that is convincing you to be disempowered. We're gonna talk more about that on the channel. But anyway, y'all, I'm here. I'm back. Your girl is back. Get into the jewelry, get into the nails. I don't know if I gave y'all like a nail look, but and you know what? I want to say this too. And I'm speaking directly to the woman who is looking in this video camera and talking to y'all. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. I am so resilient. I am so resilient. And I don't mean that again in like this uphill battle, laborious way. I mean that in the sense that like I didn't know my own strength. I didn't know my own strength until I really started reflecting on who I was and who I've been this whole time. And I said, damn, you are a bad bitch. You are a bad motherfucker. I am, truth be told, one of my own inspirations, one of my biggest inspirations. I love who I am. I love how I show up for myself. I love how I cater towards myself. I love how I persist in such a way that it's like, it's seamless, it's effortless. I'm so proud of me. I am so proud of me. And I'm realizing now that there was never anything for me to be ashamed about. I never needed to carry that shame. I just needed to restructure my path a little bit. I was never lost. I was never broken. I was never bruised. I was never any of those things. I was caught up in an illusion of thinking that that was the truth. And it's not. And the same goes to you. If you're watching this video right now and me describing what I was going through is something that you feel like you're dealing with right now, let me tell you as well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Because you have, like, as cliche as it sounds, you literally have saw yourself through every hump. You've gotten yourself through every bad day, so to speak. Like, and we're so quick to judge ourselves that we don't take the time to applaud ourselves for what it is that not only we have overcome, but triumphed. Don't downplay anything that you saw yourself through. Do not. And I think that sometimes I think things and I get ready to say them out loud and I'm like, girl, that makes so much sense. And this is one of those moments. I think that the best way that you can congratulate yourself for getting over the old reality, getting over the old way of thinking, getting over the things in your life that, you know, sometimes maybe here or there, you might reflect on them and be like, that wasn't really me. That wasn't my favorite point in time. It doesn't matter anyway. It's not real. The best way that you can congratulate yourself and give yourself thanks is by deciding that this day forward, you're the person that gets what you want. And there's nothing, when I say nothing, there's no force in the universe that could ever stop that from coming to be true. And it's real. That is the truth. That is the truth. That is the best way that you could think. And that's the way that I've been for the last 5 years thanking myself. And even in this moment, and that's how I'm going to continue to thank myself, bitch. And each and every time, I'm going to go higher and 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 higher. There is no limit. The limit does not exist. So I'm excited. Like I told y'all before, I think I said this like a few months ago. I am excited to watch y'all watch me give myself the life that is mine. That is mine, that I deserve. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. And I just feel so good coming on and saying this because I know who I know who I am. First of all, I'm a pioneer. I'm a pioneer. And I know that people, I'm not going to say people. Some people don't love it when you get online and in this community when you like kind of bare your skin and you talk about things like, oh gosh, she's talking about a circumstance. Oh gosh, she's talking about a point where she felt down. It's almost like it's a contagious virus. It's not. Not if you're in your right identity. Not if you're in your right identity. It's not contagious. It's not scary. It's not disempowering. People need to hear this. People need to know that even in these moments, they can still give themselves the life that they want. I'm your reminder. Just a reminder. Okay, I'm the reminder. Let me hold the mic for a second. I always get anxious that y'all can't hear me for one reason or another. But yeah, I just needed to come on here and be Yapperzilla and like let everybody know like what's tea and what's up. Not even just in terms of me, but just in general. I know that this message had to get out. So I'm excited. I know I say this every video, but y'all, like, I have a lot of subliminal ideas. I think that maybe I need to do a live soon. If you would like a live soon, please go ahead and comment below. Go ahead and comment below because guess what? I already know the answer. You do need a live soon. You do. I know that y'all miss me. I miss y'all so much. But any subliminal ideas, video ideas, let me know if there's any type of like specific subliminals. I know that one person was commenting recently and they were telling me like, do you have any more music subliminals? I think I'm kind of fading out of music subliminals, y'all. I just do like the soft, no music, like white noise, rain sounds subliminals because I'm a person who listens to them all throughout the day as well. And I just like I go to sleep with them religiously every single night. And I'm crazy because I have one playing on my iPad and I'll have one playing on my phone. I don't play. This Sabussy is gonna get the message. Okay. So yeah, I honestly, from this point forward, all my content has definitely been authentic, but like from this point forward specifically, I am really going to be focusing on making content that I would actually like to see and that I feel like I don't see enough of. So I'm excited to get into the nitty gritty of that and like have fun with that. But anything like subliminals, or even if y'all want like audible AF tapes, let me know. The comments are there for you to give the queen some feedback. Anyway, I love you guys. I love you like so intensely. And I genuinely, I know that every creator says that, but I mean that from the soles of my feet to the top of my head, okay? So I love you guys. I am so excited to like reconnect and just be present and be here with y'all. And we are going to have such a great, not only remainder of the year, but into 2026, it's gonna be so delicious. So delicious. So delicious. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, y'all. That's all I have to say after I've been rambling and yapping for eons. I can talk. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And until next time, you know that I love you. 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 I love you.